Good evening. I'd like to formally welcome everyone, including members of the gallery and press, to this council meeting. My name is Councillor Owen Sharkey, the Mayor of Golden Plains Shire Council. Tonight this council meeting is taking place within the council chambers at the Golden Plains Shire Council Civic Centre here in Bannockburn and is open to the public. This meeting will be live streamed in accordance with Council's governance rules, and I welcome any viewers joining us online. As the meeting is open to the public to attend, if the live stream ceases at any stage, the meeting will continue. Our opening declaration as councillors is: we, the councillors of Golden Plains Shire Council, declare that we will undertake on every occasion to carry out our duties in the best interest of the community, and that our conduct shall maintain the standards of the Code of Good Governance so that we may faithfully represent and uphold the trust placed in this council by the people of Golden Plains Shire. Our acknowledgement to country. Golden Plains Shire spans the traditional lands of the Wadawurrung and Eastern Maar people. We acknowledge them as the traditional owners and custodians. Council pays its respects to both the Wadawurrung and Eastern Maar elders, past and present. Council extends that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are part of the Golden Plains Shire. Now we move on to the... is there any apologies or leave of absence?
Yeah, next meeting I probably won't be here, Mr. Mayor. I'll be away.
Thank you.
I'll be able to get onto Zoom, I think.
Yeah, thanks very much, Councillor. So we'll take note of that and then we'll address that, how you are. And thank you, Councillor Phelan. Is there any other leave of absence? Apologies? No, thank you. And I'll just, given Councillor Phelan has put that forward, I might just seek a mover and a seconder to approve that leave if Councillor Phelan isn't here. Moved Councillor Hayden, seconded Councillor Cook. All those in favour? The motion is carried. I will seek a mover to the confirmation. Councillors, we have a resolution before us to confirm the minutes of the ordinary meeting of Council held on the 23rd of June 2026 as circulated. Moved Councillor Hayden, seconded Councillor Phelan. All those in favour? The motion is carried. Councillors, are there any conflicts of interest at this meeting? With no conflicts of interest, I will move on to the next section of our meeting, which is takes us out of a little bit of formality, something we haven't done for a little while, which is fantastic. We've got a wonderful family that's coming here this evening, and we've got both siblings, Jarrah and Jovi. So welcome here this afternoon. Jarrah and Jovi Benning, I would like to thank you for and acknowledge your outstanding achievements over the weekend at the 2026 BMX World Championships held in Brisbane. Both Jarrah and Jovi both qualified to represent Australia after exceptional performances at the National Championships held earlier this year. Competing on the world stage is an incredible achievement, and congratulations to Jarrah, who achieved an outstanding 4th place in, not Victoria, not Australia, but the world. So well done. Well done. And to Jovi, who finished a fantastic 33rd overall in your class. So congratulations, Jovi. So on behalf of Golden Plains Shire Council, congratulations on your dedication, your hard work and the success. We are incredibly proud of people like yourself in the community that dedicate themselves to the roles that you do and the sports that you do. So it's fantastic. And as I had the pleasure of having a chat outside, having opened up the Bannockburn Bowl BMX pump track this month, it'll be fantastic to see you guys down there more often, and hopefully you guys can lead the way into the future, and hopefully lots of other kids around the Shire end up half as successful as you guys. So, we have got a couple of awards up here that I might get you to come up and accept. I'll come out here. Congratulations. Thank you. You've got a nice nice little achievement award there for you. Without there to nice and BMX stuff. Jody, congratulations on your placing and your dedication. So thank you very much. Would you guys like to say anything?
I'd like to thank my parents for taking me and supporting me.
Yeah, mum and dad, they put a lot of effort in that.
Well said.
Thank you very much. More than welcome to hang around for the next couple of hours and listen to all the Thanks very much for you all coming in this afternoon. It's a pleasure to have you here, and all the very best, and look forward to seeing you down the old BMX track. Cheers. Cheers.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Shane. Thanks. All the best.
Well done.
Councillors, we now move on to our formal section of our council meeting. Item 7.1, the Pollocksford Road Bridge upgrade, found on our agenda on page number 6. Councillors, are there any questions in regards to this item? Councillor Cook.
Does the Surf Coast Shire, they have sole control over the negotiation and management and supervision of the works itself?
Yeah, happy to put that through to Director Oxia. Director Justice Civic, please. Thank you.
Thank you, and through you, Mayor. Yes, they do, is the short answer, through our municipal boundary agreement. They are responsible and have full control of upgrades and replacement of that bridge. We are liable for 50%. But having said that, they do talk to us and they give us updates, and we have discussions around the issue.
Thanks very much, Councillor Cook. Any follow-up question or any further questions, councillors? No further questions. I'll seek a move. We have a recommendation put forward to us that does align to the Surf Coast Shire.
I'll move the recommendation.
Moving the recommendation, Councillor Phelan. Seconding the recommendation, Councillor Cook. Councillor Phelan, thank you.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I think it's a very important connection route for a lot of people that live in the Shire and people that live in the Surf Coast. And the Surf Coast has gone to tender with this and has come back at $3 million. We had to put an extra 800 in, an extra 700 in to bring it up to the 1.5, the fair share of it. We've been able to put that money together, and I recommend this. I recommend that we go ahead and help Surf Coast build it.
Thank you much, Councillor Phelan. Thank you, Councillor Cook.
I would echo Councillor Phelan's comments. It is regrettable that it's cost more than what it did a few years ago, but that is the same for pretty much everything. I should commend the ingenuity of the engineering department to look into our accounts and to carry forward and fund the material from allocated funds in other areas, and it's just a shame that the grants for the bridges would not be forthcoming and make a more substantial contribution. But I think the connectivity and the pain that has been endured by the community for 2 years, having a bridge totally closed and unusable, will be greatly relieved when this finally takes place.
Thank you very much. Well said, Councillor Cook. Would any councillors like to speak against the motion? Councillor Gamble.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like this project to go ahead, but I'm concerned the financial cost is too high, too unequal for our shire without significant assistance. Just last month, I remind councillors, we passed the financial sustainability strategy, which was a response to critically low cash reserves, an underlying operating deficit, and a potentially worsening situation. Our adopted financial sustainability strategy is a response to averting a financial crisis and seeking to take deliberate and proactive management to return to an adjusted underlying surplus by 2031-32. It's a delicate operation. As this recommendation stands, we will be redirecting $410,000 from council cash on top of the $800,000 allocated. As this recommendation stands, there is no state government assistance, which I find particularly disappointing given local government, residents and rural shires in particular, are suffering from, 1, the capping of rates by state Labor government, well below inflation and especially below the increasing costs of capital work such as this. That's why I couldn't go ahead in the first place. 2, the decrease in federal and state grants in real terms. And 3, the extra burdens and cost shifting placed on local governments by state and federal governments. I appreciate the efforts Surf Coast Shire has gone to reduce the potential cost of the project. However, I note Surf Coast Shire revenue for 2026 is forecast at $157 million. It's normally about $110 million, compared with Golden Plains, $67 million. Surf Coast Shire has a population is only about 50% greater than Golden Plains. Golden Plains Shire doesn't have the level of extra income sources from the businesses, tourism, hospitality, accommodation that a shire such as Surf Coast does. Nearby Winchelsea, for example, with a population smaller than Teesdale, has an excellent recently completed public pool rebuild. Golden Plains Shire has no public pool. And as outlined, we are really struggling financially like many rural shires. I want this project to go ahead, but I believe we should delay this decision and seek state election commitments to help fund the Pollocksford Road Bridge upgrade. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Gamble. Would anyone like to speak for the motion? Councillor Robbins, thank you.
Thank you. This project will restore a highly valuable transport link between Stonehaven and Narwarri. We have an obligation to fund half of the works on the bridge under our boundary agreement with Surf Coast. We've been setting aside funds in readiness for this project for a while, and we are going to need to allocate more funds than we had planned to, but that's something that we are able to do and we should do. Some of the money we're allocating is left over from what was allocated for the Mount Mercer to Reel road widening, which just goes to show that not every project goes over budget, but if we delay this project any longer, it's only going to get more expensive. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Robbins.
I'd like to foreshadow a motion. In the event...
Yeah, I'll take that. If this motion loses, I'll come back to you then.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Councillor Gamble.
Sorry, a point of order. I think I've got the right to have a preamble about what the foreshadowed motion
you're putting forward that you are going to foreshadow a motion should this one be unsuccessful. If this one is unsuccessful, I will come to you then to speak to that motion. So now's not a time to debate a motion that hasn't received anything or any...
I think according to the governance rules, I have a right to introduce
I'm happy to
nature of the motion.
I'm happy to seek some advice on that. Also appreciating you've had 3 minutes to speak against the current motion. Yep, so just to confirm, Councillor Gamble, I'm right with advice that I have given that you've foreshadowed a motion. I have that noted, and if this motion is unsuccessful, I will come back to you to speak on that. Thank you very much. Would anyone like to speak against the motion? Would anyone like to speak for the motion? Councillor Phelan, I'll seek you to close the debate.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. I think that we've come to a position here where this bridge has been closed for 2 years. It's a very important link for a lot of our ratepayers. I understand to a certain extent what Councillor Gamble's saying, but to put this off to go to the state government to get money to do it. There's not. I've got more money in my piggy bank than the state government's got. So I think that we've got to be realistic. The money's not available, and we've been able to put the money together to build it for our ratepayers and probably the residents of Surf Coast. It's a very important link, and I encourage the councillors to support this motion.
Very much, Councillor Phelan. That concludes the debate, councillors. I will put it to a vote. All those in favour of the motion? Those against the motion is carried. Thank you very much. Item 7.2, special rates and charges draft policy. Councillors, found on page 9 of the agenda. Are there any questions to this item? If there's no questions to this item, I will seek a mover. We have a recommendation in front of us, or happy to moving the recommendation, Councillor Robbins, and seconding the motion, Councillor Cook. Thank you very much. Councillor Robbins.
Thank you. This is a recommendation to adopt a special rates and charges policy. A similar recommendation came to Council during the previous term, and it was ultimately abandoned in response to community feedback. That feedback indicated a limited understanding of what a special rates and charges policy is and does, so we want to take another shot at communicating that effectively. A special rates and charges policy would provide Council with a framework for funding upgrade projects that directly benefit local property owners. It is only for upgrades, it's not for maintenance, and a project will only be funded by a special rates and charges scheme if it has the support of the majority of impacted property owners. This is a way for us to deliver projects that are wanted by local property owners who will directly benefit without unduly burdening other ratepayers who won't benefit. We're not proposing to actually declare a special rates and charges scheme at this time, just to put in place a policy to guide how we might do it in the future if that scenario arises. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Robbins. Councillor Cook.
The motion, as I understand it, is simply putting the policy out for further community consultation, and I would highly recommend that the community members, who may or may not be listening at the moment, look at it and think about how it can impact their own circumstances, and hopefully we can get some projects that are funded that would not otherwise be funded by the council. Those projects can get going through this special rates and charges. So let's get it out there and see what they say.
Thank you very much, Councillor Cook. Would any councillors like to speak against the motion? With nobody seeking to speak against the motion, I'll put it straight to a vote. All those in favour of the motion? The motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 7.3, Community Asset Policy Adoption, found on page 12 of the agenda. Councillors, are there any questions to this item? Councillor Kirby?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, so just to the Director. I was just wondering...
through the Chair, Councillor Kirby, and I'll direct you to the relevant person.
The question is to the Director, though.
Councillor Kirby, just for governance rules questions must come through the Chair. I'll follow the governance rules. Thank you.
Okay, my concerns are that if there is a change in community groups, they might not know who the infrastructure belongs to and who is responsible for it. How will Council overcome this? And I'm also concerned that we could lose volunteers because of the actions of Council not owning the arts pieces or the infrastructure that's put on Council land, and that volunteers won't know that they own the infrastructure, they don't know they're responsible, and how do we ensure this in the future?
Thank you very much, Councillor Kirby. Thank you for the question. Director Daly, you're happy enough to answer that question?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Two questions. In relationship to the first question, in terms of ownership and ensuring, and ensuring that future committees are aware of the ownership of the asset. We are currently developing a database that will include details of all of the community groups and the various assets that they own. The policy will only take effect when adopted, so it will only relate to assets that are implemented on council-owned land from the date of adoption. Yeah.
Thank you. And the volunteers, question sort of two was about the volunteers. Do you think we will lose volunteers because of this?
We haven't had any indication that volunteers will step aside from any of the groups at this point. We did have some concerns that were raised that were addressed during the consultation period, but yeah, we're pretty confident that that won't be the case.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Director Daly. Thank you, Councillor Kirby, for your question. Is there any further questions, councillors? If there's no further questions, I'll seek a mover to a motion. Councillor Robbins moving the recommendation and seconding the recommendation. Now the motion. Thank you very much, Councillor Phelan. Councillor Robbins, thank you.
Thank you. This policy's gone out for 2 rounds of community consultation because we wanted to re-engage with those who had concerns about the policy. We really value the many volunteer organisations that contribute to Golden Plains, and we want this policy to work for them. Community-initiated installations can have a lot of value for people in our shire, and it's never our aim to discourage those projects. This policy just seeks to clear up ambiguity about who looks after assets long-term, so we don't have assets deteriorating and causing safety risks with nobody responsible for maintaining them. And we also need to make sure assets are adequately insured, because in the tragic event that someone in our community was injured by an installation, they should be able to recover any resulting costs. So that's all this policy is aiming to achieve. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Robbins. Councillor Phelan.
I reserve my right, mate.
Thank you very much, Councillor Phelan. Would anyone like to speak against the motion? Nobody speaking against the motion. Councillor Phelan. Thank you very much. Councillor, I'll put it straight to a vote. All those in favour? The motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 7.4, councillors, page 15 of the agenda, the adoption of the sale or exchange of council land item. Councillors, are there any questions on this item? And if there is no questions, I'll seek a mover to a motion. Has anyone got a motion or like to move the recommendation? Councillor Robbins moving the motion and seconding the motion. Councillor Phelan, thank you very much. Councillor Robbins, thank you.
Thank you. These 3 policies are in need of updating to improve readability, reflect current practice and remove references to legislative provisions that have been repealed. So happy to adopt the changes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Robbins. Councillor Phelan.
Wait and see.
Thank you very much. Would anyone like to speak against the motion? With no one speaking against the motion, I will put it straight to a vote. All those in favour of the motion? The motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 7.5, the Tourism Advisory Committees. Councillors, this item can be found on page 18 of the agenda. Are there any questions to this item? If there are no questions, I'll seek a mover.
I'll move.
Councillor Cook
I'll
moving.
second it.
Councillor Cook moving the motion and Councillor Phelan seconding the motion. Councillor Cook, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm excited. And it takes a bit to get excited in a council meeting, but this is something you can be excited about. We have 2 larger groups, being the Tourism Greater Geelong and Ballerine, which is based in Geelong, and the Tourism Midwest Victoria, which is based in Ballarat. And they're quite active and effective groups. And we are in the middle, and what we need to do is to link in with these other tourism groups to activate the great assets and tourism opportunities that exist within the Shire. We've proposed to have two committees, North and South Committee, and that these have been nominated, and people within the industry, people within the community, and then we're seeking also representation from people who run the biggest dance festivals in the state. So that's 35,000 people over 4 days at Baroona Plains and a smaller number up at Meredith. And this is something we should be proud about, and we should try and activate and to assist that and other ventures to come along within the Shire. In addition to this, we recently saw the opening of Niall Banyul, which is a convention centre in Geelong. It's $300 million of state government money that has been spent in Geelong, and I can say, having seen it and used it, it's been spent very well. That's a very significant community asset which is right next door to the Shire. And the people that go there will want to interact. And of course they can drive across town and go through Drysdale and get down to the Bellarine, or they can take a right-hand turn and come out to Golden Plains Shire. And for accommodation and tourism opportunities, I think we're very well placed to get off that. And this is what these two bodies will hopefully integrate with and activate with not only what's happening in Geelong, but also what's happening up in Ballarat. So this is the establishment of these two bodies, and I really think that they will do some excellent work, and we'll be able to report on other projects that come and flow from that. And for that reason, I commend the establishment of the committees to the council.
Thank you very much, Councillor Cook. Very well said. Councillor Phelan, I think you'll struggle to add anything to that, but good luck.
Just carrying on from what Councillor Cook moving the motion, I think it's really important that I know we have got one either end of us, but now we have two bodies within the municipality that may be able to interact with those people and may encourage more tourism into the Shire. And I think without this link, we'll probably miss out. But having this link created, I think it'll be a good start.
Thank you very much, Councillor Phelan. Would anyone like to speak against the motion? With nobody wanting to speak against that, we will endorse that recommendation. All those in favour? The motion is carried. Thank you very much. Item 7.6, Library Shared Services Transition to New Entity. Page 21 of the agenda. Councillors, are there any questions to this item? If there's no questions, I'll seek a mover.
I'll move it.
Councillor Phelan moving the motion and seconding the motion, Councillor Robbins. Councillor Phelan, thank you very much.
Well, as we all know, that with the corporation at the moment is going to be wound up in another 4 years. We've had to establish some other corporation or join a corporation to continue to service our municipality with books and other stuff from the Geelong Library Service. I think this is the only move we can make, or else we would have to do our own furnish and run our own library service. We've got this on board now. Nothing much will change except it'll be a corporation, and I recommend it to the council.
Thank you very much, Councillor Phelan. Councillor Robbins.
Thank you. Being a part of Geelong Regional Libraries has enabled us to provide cost-effective and high-quality library services at Bannockburn, as well as a mobile library service that visits Cape Clear, Daryeel, Enfield, Grenville, Haddon, Linton, Meredith, Rokewood and Smythesdale. This shared services arrangement provides good value for our Shire, and it's in our interests for it to continue. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Councillor Robbins, would anyone like to speak against the motion? If nobody speaking against the motion, I will put to a vote. All those in favour of the motion? Motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 7.7, page 25 of the agenda, quarterly advocacy report. Is there any questions to this? If there's no questions, I might just look to our CEO to speak to this item.
Thanks and through, Mr. Mayor. Councillors, this is our quarterly update. Obviously, leading into the state election, there continues to be a lot of advocacy work underway. So, probably particularly want to highlight both now through G21 and then also GBAC, the Ballarat grouping of councils. Both of the state election platforms for those two organisations have now been launched. I guess importantly for us, there's a number of priorities that align with our council adopted state election priorities that are all in those documents. And that has been great. That's also included us taking a trip to State Parliament as part of the Ballarat group. Council's also been quite strong through advocacy, and Councillor Gamble attended the MAV meeting, and Council also raised a number of motions at that State Council meeting that were also supported. And then also the Mayor and I attended the National General Assembly in Canberra, which was a great event and good opportunity to hear from a range of other councils, obviously both from within Victoria but across Australia about a variety of different things they're doing. And then finally in there, just to note, we are seeing some outcomes from all of this advocacy work. So we've been seeing additional funding being announced for enabling infrastructure, which aligns with a lot of our council priorities. Investment in mobile and digital infrastructure across Golden Plains. We've received additional funding for road safety and black spots. And then also through the state budget, there are a couple of projects that council are also supported getting funded that we otherwise wouldn't have received funding for.
Thank you very much, Mr. CEO. Thank you kindly for that monthly update. Councillors, just noting that report by the CEO, just to seek a mover and a seconder noting that Councillor Hayden moving it, Councillor Phelan seconding the motion. Councillor Hayden. Councillor Phelan?
No, I think
Thank you very much.
Summed up really well by the CEO.
Thank you very much. Would anyone like to speak against the motion? Councillors, I'll put it to a vote. All those in favour? The motion is carried. Thank you. Sorry. The 7.8 delegates report and informal meetings of councillors' records on page 29 of the agenda. I'll seek a mover and a seconder, and have each councillor, if they do choose to speak to Councillor Robbins moving the motion, and Councillor Cook seconding the motion. Councillor Robbins, thank you.
Thank you. I attended the 20-year anniversary of the Smarsdale Senior Citizens Group. There was quite a good turnout, and they're a very social group, so everyone was up for a chat, and there was a plaque unveiled to commemorate the anniversary. I also attended the Ross Creek Recreation Reserve Committee annual general meeting. That's quite a small group that looks after the Rec Reserve, and I'm sure they'd like to have a little bit more help. I spoke at the Women in Local Leadership Forum in Geelong. I was asked to speak about some of the challenges and opportunities of being a councillor. That was a thought-provoking evening, and we had a good Q&A, and I enjoyed hearing reflections from the other speakers who included other women councillors from our region. Adam and I went to the Barwon Health Foundation Gala at the Nyal Banyul Convention Centre, which was a fundraiser for a women's and children's hospital in Geelong. So it'll be really positive to have that in our region in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Robbins. Councillor Cook.
We've got a Geelong and Greater Bellarine meeting next Monday. Sorry, so nothing to report.
You're not going to announce the line-up at Beyond the Valley and black-eyed peas and Veronicas? And, would any other councillor like to speak to the delegates' report? Thank you. Just to give a quick update from my perspective as the Mayor this month, ALGA, as CEO mentioned to there before, was what was a big event, well held, well supported by many councils across Australia. Always a great one to get to and meet and mingle with other councils and learn of the challenges there amongst all councils. As Sarah mentioned there, our motion put forward was successful, which was good. We had an evening there with Dan Tehan and local councillors in his area there, and really got to have a good couple of hours of discussion there, and hopefully those bits of input we put in help into the future. And we did get to hear from several ministers that gave speeches over the couple of days, and again, really well attended and well supported by many. Also this month, as those young kids would have been part of, and I think they were on the front page of the newspaper there, the pump track was probably one of the most exciting openings that I've seen of an event. There was a heap of kids there on the bikes. It's a huge investment by the Shire with regards to that. I had a question. I was at a school today. I had a question from kids, sort of saying, "Well, why are these things always in Bannockburn?" You know, that facility is proof of why all those things come together there. So we've got that pump track and those other BMX tracks and all of that. So parents can travel far and wide and really leave the kids there for a good few hours to enjoy a whole day. So anyone that hasn't seen that, strongly recommend to get up there and have a look at it. It's a huge investment and a great facility for the region. As I said, it's just at also at the school today with a heap of kids answering hundreds of questions that's mainly focused on the upcoming McDonald's and improvements to the shopping centre. And also attends a peri-urban meeting, chairing those meetings at the moment. Also like to thank the Deputy very much for taking over a few events while I was away and unable to attend, so thank you very much for doing that. And yeah, at the moment all of our efforts are put into advocacy there, so hopefully all the work we've done with the ministers so far, hopefully there's not too many changes ahead of us, but yeah, there's a heap of work being done behind the scenes, so thank you very much for that. Councillors, I will put that forward to note that and finish and close the debate. All those in favour? The motion is carried. Thank you. And my apologies, when I was reading out that item 7.7, I was reading advocacy and thinking CEO report, so my apologies, Mr. CEO, but well done on the advocacy piece. And if there's any questions to the CEO report, happy to take that now. Otherwise, I will ask the CEO to give a monthly report on the work that he's doing behind the scenes. Thank you, Mr. CEO.
Thanks, through Mr. Councillors, I might just, in the report, there's a couple of things I'll highlight. The first is probably just, we've had a youth council in place now for, I think, sort of 12 to 18 months. And I think just to highlight the great work that they're now doing. They've been in place for a little while, and in the report you'll see highlight some work they did with council staff as part of NAIDOC Week out at the Golden Plains Youth Hub. And there's also a range of other initiatives and work that they've been doing. So just a real credit to that team and also the council staff who support them. And then also in that community wellbeing space, we've been successful with a Vic Health Partner in Place program grant. So that's a multi-year program. I think we all know that often the more geographically isolated you are, the lesser access you might have to services. So this is a program where we will work with Vic Health to hopefully try and break some of that down and make sure that our community have the services and support they need. So yeah.
Thank you very much. Any questions to that, councillors? Councillor Kirby.
Thank you. Yes, just noting in the report that there was 107 cases that were closed from the customer service. I was just wondering, is there anything that really stands out to you as to why we can't finalise or finish those requests from our customer service?
Yep. So thank you, and through you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, just for context, so in the report there it talks about through July we've closed 1,690 requests within the timeframe and 107 outside. So Councillor Kirby, I think there's probably a few different reasons for some of them. Some of them would be their requests that just take a bit longer and a bit more time. We are getting better at extending some of those timelines. So, of course, enforcement actions, some planning inquiries, some road tree type inquiries. Often they might need a bit longer than 7 days for us to be able to sort of process them and review them and work through them. So I would say the majority of those 107 would be due to that. So the work we're doing internally is improving that when we do have those items that are going to take a bit longer, that's always going to happen, but making sure we're letting people know and communicating with them to say, we've received it, but it might take 3 weeks, we'll keep you updated. So that's kind of how we're aiming to improve in that area.
Perfect. It's just good to have that communication back to the residents as well. Thank you.
Definitely.
Any further questions, councillors? If there's no further questions, I'll seek a mover to note that report. Moving the motion, Councillor Hayden, seconding the motion, Councillor Kirby. Councillor Hayden, would you like to speak to that? Councillor Kirby, would you like to speak to that?
No, I think it's all been said.
Yeah, thank you. And assume no one wants to speak against noting that report, I will put it to a vote. All those in favour? The motion is carried, and that concludes the meeting with no notice of motions, no petitions, and no urgent business or confidential reports. Before I close the meeting, I did overlook one item on mine this month. So the GRLC, Geelong Libraries, we did just appoint a new CEO there, David Siemens, who is the current director there. Will step up to the CEO at the end of this week. And I did want to just tie that to a segue in terms of that decision that we made earlier on regarding the libraries, which will feed into all other councils, I believe all of our G21 neighbouring councils, bar one are putting that to their councils tonight. So that's a huge decision that we've made there tonight, but I do want to put a little emphasis on that, because behind the scenes we've got a group there called Turning the Page, and our director, Lanier Gray, who is part of that, and her counterparts at the other councils have done a massive amount of work behind the scenes trying to put that whole thing together, trying to align all the expectations of council. It's been an extremely long journey. I've been on the board now for 5 years, and it's been that long. It's been a long time that's been in process. So that transitional piece hopefully will eventuate now with all councils coming aligned. And the reason I pull out Lanier on that and put emphasis on that it's quite a nice and fitting item to finish your journey here on, in my belief. Lanier, who is our final meeting here tonight. So on behalf of myself and all councillors, and I'm sure all of us in this room, thank you very much for all the time and effort you put into that, along with the hundreds of other things you have done over the last 4 and a bit years. So thank you very much, and I'd like to wish you all the very best into the future, Lanier, and just want to take a moment to thank you for all the work you've done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hear, hear.
And on that note, I will close the meeting with no further items of business.